What's going on, fellow rock and rollers? Peace and love, a thumbs up, and aka cowabunga and rock and roll. Guess what we got for you today? We're going to be making a full drum set piece by piece using just our mouth and our throat. Pretty amazing, right? So let's get right into it. We're going to do 6 different parts of the drum set and then a bonus 7th one that's going to use a loop station to put it all together. All right, so here we go. Let's do our kick drum first. So explaining how to do a kick drum. A kick drum is the one that you use where you would kick on a normal drum set where it does like a thump, thump, thump. But in order to do this with our mouth, we have to do boom, boom, like you're saying the word boom really quickly. Not boom, but you say boom, 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 right? You could almost do it with your mouth closed, boom, kind of as low as you can. And that's our bass drum. Now, a different one you could use for your kick drum or your bass drum is called the club kick drum. If you were thinking of, being in a club and you hear that type of thing, right? In order to do that, you basically move your Addams apple in a rhythmic way. See how I'm doing? I'm basically going but with my mouth closed. And that's the club kick drum. That's another way to do a kick drum aside from boom, right? So either one will work. Now let's do the hi-hat sound. The hi-hat sound is putting the letter T and the letter S smushed together like tss. Because if you just do s, an S or a t of a T, you don't get the full effect of the closed hi-hat sound where you get with a tss, right? It's combining the T and the S very quickly, tss, right? So now we got that. We got the bass, which is boom or, and then we have the TS combined, tss, right? All right, now let's do the crash or the splash cymbal, because we got to put a cymbal in there somewhere too. If you think of putting the letters P, S, and H together. Now, why would you do this? Because it's like a psh. It's like you're saying shh, but with a little psh in the beginning of it, right? And you kind of over-exaggerate it and make it really loud. So, psh, that's the crash or the splash cymbal, if you will. All right, we're piecing our drum set together. We got bass with boom or, right? The hi-hat, tss, 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 right? Now the cymbal or a crash cymbal or splash cymbal, psh, right? All right, now let's do our snare drum. The snare drum is the one that's right in front of you that you could sort of do like a drum roll with. But the snare drum is a hard K or that CK at the end of a word sound. So like when you say the word knock or tick-tock, it's got that k sort of sound. So we want to say k, k, or you could say k or k, either one. Could do that snare drum sound, right? And the last one that we would think of instead of the snare drum, another way to do the snare drum is kind of like a metronome sound. You can do it like a rimshot. That's kind of like taking the k and putting like a k with it, right? And you basically click the roof of your mouth together with your tongue to the roof of your mouth. You can have your mouth open or closed. So if you do your open, sounds like that. Closed sounds like this. So it's like, gives a little bit of a different texture to that. And that's like a metronome sound or another sort of snare drum sound. So we have bass, which is boom, or we have the hi-hat, which is tss, right? We have the crash or splash cymbal, which is psh, right? We have the snare drum, which is k, or, right? And that's our drum set right there. So it's a bonus one. Those are 6 different like ways to kind of piece together the drum set. As a bonus fun thing, we're going to put it all together. We're going to say this fun little rhythmic pattern over and over again. You just have to say boots and cats and, because the boots gets the bass drum boo, right? And the tss in boots with the TS sound gets the hi-hat sound, boots and cats. And the k from cats, the hard C sound or the CK or the K sound gets that k snare drum in there. And you say, and after that, to get the beat, boots and cats and boots and cats and, all right? So let's try that together. 1, 2, 3, and boots and cats and boots and cats and boots and cats. And that's on repeat, right? So you could take that idea of the boom, right? Boots and cats and boots and cats. It's like bass, hi-hat, snare, hi-hat, bass, hi-hat, snare, hi-hat, bass, right? And it's like bass, hi-hat, snare, hi-hat, bass, hi-hat, snare, hi-hat. That's what you're thinking of, right? So we're going to do another one now where we get to add in our club kick drum and the metronome sound with a crash cymbal or splash cymbal. So instead of boots and cats, I'm going to create the rhythm like that. It's kind of hard to hear, but I have to put the microphone kind of up to my throat, right? So that's the club drum. Now we're going to add in a psh, psh, every so often. Psh, psh, right? So we have the club kick drum with the psh sound, right? And now we're going to add in the metronome or the other rimshot sound that you would have for a snare drum with a, right? And it's like a rhythm like that, right? Clap, 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 right? Very cool. And that's another way to use our different sort of sounds instead of doing the normal kick drum like boots and cats and boots and cats. We did the other way to do it, a club kick drum, a splash cymbal, and a rim shot like metronome. Very, very cool. Let's quickly review what all of them sound like again so you can have fun with it playing on your own. All right, so normal kick drum with a boom or boo, right? A club kick drum is moving your Addams apple in a rhythmic way. Very nice. The hi-hat sound is the T and the S combined. Tss, 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 like that. A crash or splash cymbal is doing P, S, and H all together. An over-exaggerated one like psh, psh, right? A normal snare drum sound is using the hard C, a CK ending of a word, or a K sound. You could have it like that, or right? And then our last but not least one in the metronome, which is also, you can think of it like a rim shot. Instead of hitting the full snare drum, you hit the rim shot on the side, and that's making the clicking sound by putting your tongue to the roof of your mouth in a rhythmic way. You could do it with your mouth open, like that, cheeks open, or closed in, like that. Very cool. And remember, don't forget the boots and cats in. That's a fun way to start beatboxing, using your mouth to create a full drum set. Awesome stuff. Thanks so much for tuning in. Peace and love. The thumbs up and AOK at Cowabunga and rock and roll. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.